G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR. So for today's video, we're doing a Gold Coast team review post-Marsh series. So they actually competed really well, the Suns, and if you're a Suns supporter, then I think you would have been wrapped with what the boys produced in the first couple of weeks there. So the real season's coming up, obviously, which is the main thing. But I think, yeah, a couple of guys may have put their hand up for selection, and there's been, unfortunately, maybe a couple of guys that haven't put their hand up. Well, a couple of rookies that I was hopefully expecting to see at least play during the series or at least put their hand up with some solid scores. So we'll start off with the back line here. Again, I've only focused on those players who I think will be Supercoach relevant, or I've may have seen some of these guys in people's teams and I don't think are Supercoach relevant anymore. But as I said, we'll start with the back line with Lockie Weller. Definitely Supercoach relevant, I think, this year, and I've been really impressed with his pre-season. I watched him firsthand in the Bushfire Relief game. He didn't look out of place and used his pace really well. Seems like he'll play more through the midfield. Also attending more CBAs, which is really handy as well. And he's coming to that age where he's really ready to take the next step, or he should be. We know how much Gold Coast paid up for him, pick 2 over to Freo to get Weller across. So as a Gold Coast supporter and as a coach, you'd really want him to deliver on what they paid up for him, I think. But for me, I'm staying away from him because, look, scoring-wise, he hasn't set the world on fire. 75 in the first one with 19 possessions, 82 from 27 disposals in the second game. Look, at around his price, I like a Houston better, or I'd go up to a Sicily, down to a Doherty. But if you think the Suns could improve and you're after a nice pod, then you could do a lot worse than Weller, I think. But yeah, not for me at 481. It feels maybe at that 440 to 450 mark, it may entice me a little bit more. Certainly think he could be a great pick. Definitely a smoky for a top 10 finish. But yeah, I couldn't start with him, I don't think. But good luck to those who do. Lukosius, look, 58 from 76% time on ground. He actually scored 85 Dream Team points, but his 64% disposal efficiency really hurt him Supercoach-wise. Look, with the terrible rookie crisis, some people may be enticed to selecting with his DPP, bit of a lower price. I think he'll make a little bit of money, but not enough to be a really good stepping stone, or certainly not a keeper. But look, a star of the future, but I can see why people would be looking at him. I think he's in about 7% of sides, but I don't think there's a huge amount of upside for him at that price anyway. Jazz McLennan, really disappointing week 1, and followed up with the 28 from 31% time on ground. Another one of those rookies we were hoping for, but probably won't get in round 1. So yeah, just adds to the crisis here at the moment, Jazz McLennan. David Swallow played really well on the weekend, actually, for 122 Supercoach points, 14 contested possessions, a heap of clangers in there as well. But we've got to ask ourselves the old question, will it be a top 10 to 15 mid? No for me, so I'm not looking at David Swallow. May present a little bit of value and hopefully can take his game to the next level. We say that about a lot of players, but he's been a pretty solid player for a while there. We know he's had his injuries, but I just can't see him really jump to that next stage, unfortunately, and make him, someone that we can seriously consider. Fiorini, again, great player for the Suns, but I don't think Supercoach relevant. That price just way too awkward there. And on the weekend, 39 Supercoach points from the 79% time on ground. Certainly a pod, but not worth looking at all, I don't think. Will Brodie, again, he played really well on the weekend as well, and he was an early draft pick. Strong sort of a bull. We've had high hopes for him. Again, though, at 435, just simply not an option. The same goes with Bose as well, 91. And I suppose like Tuke Miller as well, who I haven't even included there, I think they'll improve, but they're too awkwardly priced. With all these blokes at the top 4, I just seriously don't think that we can consider them. And hopefully for Suns fans, one of these guys or 2 of these guys prove me wrong and have really solid seasons. But for our teams, I just don't think that we can look at these guys. Noah Anderson there, the next one, 202,000. He's looked clean. We'll play in round 1, but if I can avoid him, I will. I just don't want to pay a premium price for a mainly outside player when I have Rowell at a few grand more. And look, to be honest, Rowell doesn't even need discussion. Just get him in. It's as simple as that. Anthony Miles, I've just got him there. I'm going to talk about Huey Greenwood, I suppose, in a minute, but he's someone just to remember when we're thinking about guys moving up to Gold Coast and really breaking out. I had Miles as one of those players. I think I ended up going Libba instead of him in the end, but all pre-season he was in my side. So I've just popped him there just as a reminder that just because you do switch clubs, you look to, have a better role. For him, it was playing more time in the midfield. It doesn't generally guarantee that you will really, really up that Supercoach average. So more of a reminder, Miles there, certainly not Supercoach relevant at all. And the last one there that we've got in the midfield is Young Sharp. 42 points from 46% time on ground was impressive, but more likely comes into the side when injuries strike, I would say. But yeah, looked good while he was out there, but the time on ground in both of the games pre-season suggests that he's probably not in calculations for their round one side. On to the ruck. So he got Witts there, 541, injured at the moment. Think he might miss the first couple of weeks, and Smith will be his replacement there, 254,000. Smith actually competed pretty well, I think, on the weekend. But look, as I said, only be a short-term replacement. I doubt whether they'll both play in the same side at the same time. So nothing to see there. And Conroy at 102,000. May want to use him as that loophole, the cheapest option I think you can get, but I'd still prefer one of the North Melbourne boys because I'm pretty sure that North Melbourne are the team that have the most Sunday games from memory. So I'll round it off now with the forward line. First bloke is Huey Greenwood. Didn't have much of a pre-season last year, but this year he looks fit. He's up and running. Best of all, he's playing more midfield time, and traditionally doesn't have a high amount of metres gained. He'd be looking to improve that this year. So hopefully by playing more of that midfield time, getting more of the ball, he can manage to do that. In game one, he showed his upside. Attended 15 CBAs, 25 possessions, a lot of those contested, worked hard as usual, and produced 109 Supercoach points. However, in the second game, we saw more of his downside. Couldn't seem to get near the ball as much there. He got 76 points from 79% time on ground, 16 possessions, but 13 of those contested. We know that he is a contested beast. Look, he ended up with a 92.5 average from those two preseason games. I think it'll be a good shot to make the top 10 forwards for averages. So I do endorse the pick, but I slightly prefer the next bloke. And no, I'm not just joining the bandwagon or jumping on the bandwagon. Here's what I had to say about Darcy McPherson pre-Marsh series. I'll give you a real smoky, a real smoky. He's a really underrated player that absolutely slips through the radar. He was third in their BNF last year. He's a tackling machine, averaged the 7th most tackles in the league, and he was 8th for pressure acts in the league. So elite for defensive pressure. He played 22 games last year. He was upgraded from the rookie list back in 2018. He boosted his average by over 20 points, 21.7 to be exact. And the man I'm talking about is Darcy McPherson. So he's a mid forward. You've got that swing. A little bit pricey at 443,800. But I think what Darcy needs to do, he needs to get a little bit more of the ball. So we know that defensive pressure, the pressure acts and the tackles. And look, he models his game on that. He doesn't model his game necessarily on getting a high possession count. So, yeah, you asked for a real smoky, mate. So there's a real smoky for you. I don't think many people, if anyone, would have probably raised his name before. But if you're looking for a real smoky, maybe to keep a little bit of a watch on in the Marsh series, then have a little bit of a look at Darcy McPherson, mate. Yeah, so that were my thoughts on McPherson pre-Marsh series. So his name hadn't even been mentioned, I don't think, anywhere. But I really liked what I saw, particularly at the end of last season as well. I think he had a great 2019 campaign. And what I wanted to see, and I mentioned that in the last video, was him accumulate a little bit more of the ball. And it seems like he was able to do that and really increase his disposal count. So very keen on Darcy McPherson, as I said, have been for a while now, and he's currently in my side as things stand at the moment. Flanders I had there, just 162,300. Just to say, do not select this bloke. I actually had him in at early stages of the season, just knowing he was a high draft pick, and I think he actually slid a little bit to get to the Gold Coast. But yeah, I don't think he'll be playing round one, so get him off your shopping lists at 160,000. Rankin, yeah, you can see the dot there. I don't know if he's going to play round one or not. I bloody hope that he does, because I'd love to just pop him on the bench. Look, even if he doesn't, it may be a little bit of a risk, but you could even start him knowing that pretty early on, or whenever he gets his body right, he'll be pretty much playing senior footy, you'd hope. Maybe a week or two at the most, if they want to get some game time into him, into the needful there. But look, I'm hoping he's just selected round one so I can pop him on the bench there at either F7 or F8. And the last one here, Buderick. Tell you what, 106,900. Sometimes the Supercoach gods are kind, and sometimes the Supercoach gods are cruel to us. So on behalf of all Supercoaches, please, Supercoach gods, present us with this cow. At his cheap price, DPP status, he can do wonders for our sides and assist with structuring, well, both our mids and our forward lines. I think in game one, scored 74 points from 85% time on ground, playing in multiple positions, laid 4 tackles, kicked a goal. Really impressive performance, and I was hoping to see him play some big minutes in game 2. But in game 2, he only played 45% time on ground. Still knocked out of 37, collecting 8 disposals there. But again, will this bloke play round 1? I really, really hope so. Look, with Sexton going down, I think, well, bad luck to Alex Sexton and hope he gets better. But I think that is a good sign for Buderick. Maybe they may look for someone like him who's impressed in the preseason to maybe fill that role. I'm not too sure how long Sexton's going to be out for, but I really, really like the look of this bloke. I like his price. I like his DPP status. I like the fact that he can play a variety of roles. Please, please, please be named round 1, and it'll be an easy, easy selection in either our mids or either our forwards, depending on which way we want to go there. So, look, that's my take on the Gold Coast Suns and some of their Supercoach prospects. Let me know if I've missed anyone. Let me know what you guys think. But I suppose for me, Lockie Weller may be someone that you could have a look at. Huey Greenwood, certainly take a look at him. Darcy McPherson, someone that I've been a big fan of since last year. Definitely have a look at him. Flanders, no. Rankin and Buderick, hopefully. Let's have our fingers crossed. And the other one, obviously, there, who's an absolute no-brainer, is Matty Rowell. Just lock him into your side. So, yeah, Rowell's the only one that's an absolute lock. You know who I'm fans of. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be uploading the next team review video, hopefully the next day. And as usual, good luck with the planning, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.